Should the postman be bi-weekly? Should the postman be bi-weekly?
Postacı 2 haftada bir mi olmalı?
Do they exercise? Do they exercise?
Egzersiz yapıyorlar mı?
You can't ask. You can't ask.
Soramazsın.
Was our aunt a scientist? Our aunt appointed a scientist?
Teyzemiz bilim adamı görevlendirdi.
His half-brother is a sailor. His half-brother is a sailor.
Üvey erkek kardeşi denizcidir.
Then I can analyze. Then you can analyze.
O zaman analiz edebilir.
I can't go to the grocery store at sunset. I can't go to the grocery store at sunset.
Gün batımında bakkal yapamam.
I may not be able to post it after 4 weeks. I may not be able to post it after 4 weeks.
4 hafta sonra koyamayabilirim.
Can we go? Can we go?
Gidebilir miyiz?
Should not be fed. Should not be fed.
Yedirmemelidir.
I can't guarantee next year. I can't guarantee next year.
Gelecek yıl garanti edemem.
Had I descended? Derived entry?
Türemiş entermasyon.
Seldom will be a scientist. Seldom will be a scientist.
Nadiren bilim adamı olmayacak.
Will the noon challenge? Will he read the noon square?
Öğlen meydanını okuyacak mı?
My stepson interviewer. Step interviewer.
Üvey görüşmeci.
Isn't he usually a greengrocer? Isn't he usually a greengrocer?
O genellikle manav değil mi?
Should do. Should be.
Olmalı.
Didn't he throw? Didn't he throw?
Atmadı mı?
Decides. Decides.
Karar verir.
Wouldn't I be a fashion designer for 5 afternoons? After 5 data do I go no fashion saver?
5 veri sonra moda koruyucusu olmaz giderim.
I won't leave. I won't leave.
Ayrılmam.
Do you marry? Is it marriage?
Evlilik mi?
Can't he suppress? Can't he suppress?
Bastıramaz mı?
Should show. Should show.
Göstermeli.
We are always politicians. We are always politicians.
Biz her zaman siyasetçiyiz.
We do not produce. We do not produce.
Biz üretmiyoruz.
You won't catch it every year. You'll catch it for years.
Onu yıl yakalayacaksın.
They would not run. They would not run.
Kaçmazlardı.
My parents were receptionists. Are my parents receptionists?
Ailem resepsiyonist mi?
Doesn't it normally diversify? Normally not diversified?
Normalde çeşitlendirilmiyor mu?
His stepfather was on the jury. His stepfather was on the jury.
Üvey babası jüriydi.
My friend was a jeweler. My friend was a jeweler.
Arkadaşım kuyumcuydu.
Was his half-brother an inspector? Her half-brother inspector broadcast?
Üvey kardeşi müfettiş yayın.
Can he make jewelry? Can he make jewelry?
Kuyumculuk yapabilir mi?
Your grandmother is a washerwoman. Grandma washerwoman.
Büyükanne çamaşırcı.
Don't you keep a diary? Don't you keep a diary?
Günlük bağlamaz mısın?
Do you climb? Do you climb? It wasn't waiting at dusk. It wasn't waiting at dusk.
Alacakaranlıkta beklemek değildi.
Can we accept every week? Can we accept every week?
Her hafta kabul edebilir miyiz?
Will it attack at night? Will it attack at night?
Gece vakti saldıracak mı?
You become a carpenter in 4 days. You become a carpenter in 4 days.
4 gün sonra marangoz oluyorsun.
Weren't you a team? Not team interference.
Takım interferansı değil.
I shouldn't measure. I have to upload.
Yüklenmeliyim.
We should read it once a year. We should read it once a year.
Yılda bir okumalıyız.
Not an acrobat after one night. Not an acrobat after one night.
Bir gece sonra akrobat değil.
It cannot evolve after 2 seconds. It cannot evolve after 2 seconds.
2 saniye sonra gelişemez.
Our stepmother is a rapper. Our stepmother is a rapper.
Üvey annemiz rapçi.
Don't they just drop it? Don't they just drop it?
Hemen atmıyorlar mı?
You don't become a beekeeper at noon. You don't become a beekeeper at noon.
Öğlen arıcı olmazsın.
You cannot mark at sunset. You cannot mark at sunset.
Gün batımında işaretleyemezsiniz.
Is our grandfather an assistant? Is our grandfather an assistant?
Dedemiz asistan mı?
His aunt was a chemist. His aunt was a chemist.
Teyzesi kimyagerdi.
Should it be removed before? Should it be removed before?
Daha önce kaldırmalı mı?
Relatives were messengers. Relatives were messengers.
Akrabaların haberciydi.
After 5 evenings it wouldn't focus. After 5 evenings it wouldn't focus.
5 akşam sonra odaklanmazdı.
Is his nephew an illusionist? Is his nephew an illusionist?
Yeğeni illüzyonist mi?
Could you feed? Could you feed?
Besleyebildin mi?
His aunt is an art director. Her aunt is the art director.
Teyzesi sanat müdürlüğüdür.
Did you walk? Did you walk?
Yürüdün mü?
Was her stepfather a fashion designer? Carry a stepdad fashion protector?
Üvey babası moda koruyucusu taşımak.
Our cousins were hunters. Our cousins were hunters.
Kuzenlerimiz avcıydı.
Can't you undertake? Can't he undertake?
Üstlenemez mi?
Can we complain? Can we complain?
Şikayet edebilir miyiz?
They are not beauticians at night. They are not beauticians at night.
Geceler güzellik uzmanı değiller.
Not done on a weekly basis. Not done on a weekly basis.
Haftalık olarak yapılmaz.
May be interested. May be interested.
İlgi duyabilir.
Will I not hate? Shouldn't we hate?
Nefret etmeyelim mi?
They are night watchmen at dusk. They are night watchmen at dusk.
Alacakaranlıkta gece bekçileridir.
They did not become manager at noon. There were no food managers.
Yemek müdürleri olmadı.
I would pour. I would pour.
Dökerdim.
I should not create. I should not create.
Yaratmamalıyım.
Can't it be renewed? Can't it be renewed?
Yenilemez mi?
Don't you keep a diary? Don't you keep a diary?
Günlük bağlamaz mısın?
He was retiring every week. Retires every week.
Her hafta emekli yatıyor.
Your mother-in-law is a travel agency. Your mother-in-law is a travel agency.
Kayınvalideniz seyahat acentesidir.
It could be the second man. It could be the second man.
İkinci adam olabilir.
Would it conclude? Will it finalize?
Sonuçlandıracak mı?
Is your grandchild a landscape architect? Is your grandchild a landscape architect?
Torununuz peyzaj mimarı mı?
Did I reconcile then? Did I reconcile then?
Barıştım mı o zaman?
Will they be important? Will they be important?
Önemli olacaklar mı?
Can't we normally be cardiologist? Can't we normally be cardiologist?
Normalde kardiyolog olamaz mıyız?
We have to analyze after 1 hour. Analysis report after 1 hour.
1 saat sonra analiz raporu.
Our husband is a filmmaker. Our husband is a filmmaker.
Eşimiz sinemacı.
Will it work at 4 p.m.? Will it work at 4 p.m.?
Öğleden sonra 4'te mi çalışacak?
Can't they focus on the sunset? Can't they focus on the sunset?
Gün batımına odaklanamazlar mı?
Can offer. Can offer.
Sunabilir.
We shouldn't be jockeying after 2 nights. We shouldn't be jockeying after 2 nights.
2 gece sonra jokey yapmamalıyız.
I'm not a consultant for 10 years. Consultant year? He didn't build a wall one day ago. He didn't build a wall one day ago.
Bir gün önce duvar örmedi.
Wasn't I eligible? Inappropriate interference?
Uygun değil interferansı.
Won't it stay? Won't it stay?
Kalmayacak mı?
Can I train 5 weeks ago? Can I train 5 weeks ago?
5 hafta önce eğitim verebilir miyim?
Your nephew is the decorator. Niece's decorator.
Yeğenin dekoratörü.
Shouldn't it be supported after 1 week? Shouldn't there be support after 1 week?
Bir hafta sonra destek olması gerekmiyor mu?
Wasn't he the manager then? Then the admin is not offensive?
Daha sonra yönetici saldırgan değil mi?
I won't leave. I won't leave.
Ayrılmam.
We did not disclose. We did not disclose.
Açıklamadık.
Doesn't it make cream? Doesn't it make cream?
Krem yapmaz mı?
Caretaker of grandchildren. Guardian of grandchildren.
Torunların bekçisi.
You don't become a beekeeper at noon. You don't become a beekeeper at noon.
Öğlen arıcı olmazsın.
No hairdresser at night? No hairdresser at night?
Geceleri kuaför olmayacak mı?
Won't she lie? Won't she lie?
Yalan söylemeyecek mi?
Are we failing after 5 months? Will we fail after 5 months?
5 ay sonra başarısız mı oluruz?
Shouldn't he collect it every week? Doesn't it need to be collected every week?
Her hafta toplanmasına gerek yok mu?
Shouldn't we be aware? Aren't we supposed to arrive?
Elimizde varmamız gerekmiyor mu?
Is her daughter a cop? Is she a cop?
Kız polis mi?
You will trust. You will trust.
Güveneceksin.
Our cousins were guides. Our cousins were guides.
Kuzenlerimiz rehberdi.
Should the librarian arrive in 3 days? Should the librarian arrive in 3 days?
Kütüphaneci 3 gün sonra mı gelmeli?
Is your father a grocer? Is your father a grocer?
Baban bakkal mı?
You should wear it after 2 months. You should wear it after 2 months.
2 ay sonra giymelisiniz.
Don't we need to wash dishes often? Don't we need to wash dishes often?
Sık sık bulaşık yıkamamız gerekmez mi?
Did you object at night? Did you object at night?
Gece vakti itiraz ettin mi?
Won't we listen? Won't we listen?
Dinlemeyecek miyiz?
His friends were singers. His friends were singers.
Arkadaşları şarkıcıydı.
Must block. Must block.
Engellemesi gerekir.
Your father was a bricklayer. Your father was a bricklayer.
Baban duvarcıydı.
Don't you have to love? Don't you have to love?
Sevmek gerekmiyor mu?
Does he sleep earlier? Does he sleep earlier?
O daha erken uyur mu?
Will it encourage? Will it encourage?
Teşvik mi edecek?
Aren't you an anesthesiologist every year? Aren't you an anesthesiologist every year?
Anestezist değil misin her sene?
You can be a scavenger every month. Anything can be a scavenger.
Her şey çöpçü olabilir.
After 5 minutes they would grow. After 5 minutes they would grow.
5 dakika sonra büyüyeceklerdi.
Will he be angling bi-weekly? Will he do a bi-weekly angle fishing?
2 haftada bir oltalığı balıkçılığı yapacak mı?
Your stepson was the driver. Your stepson was the driver.
Üvey oğlun şofördü.
I can win 4 more evenings later. I can win 4 more evenings later.
4 akşam daha sonra kazanabilirim.
Can't he stretch? Can't he stretch?
Uzanamaz mı?
Normally you wouldn't turn it off. You can't turn it off normally.
Normal olarak kapatmazsınız.
He was previously a banker. He was previously a banker.
O daha önce bankacı.
Can exclude after 5 hours. Can exclude after 5 hours.
5 saat sonra hariç tutabilir.
2 months ago can't I be an actor? 2 months ago can't I be an actor?
2 ay önce oyuncu olamaz mıyım?
Shouldn't he care? Shouldn't he care?
Umursamamalı mı?
Aren't we the announcers then? Aren't we the announcers then?
O zaman spiker değil miyiz?
Didn't it have an effect the night before? Will the effect disappear the night before?
Bir gece önce etkisi yok olacak mı?
Is her grandfather a stylist? Is her grandfather a stylist?
Dedesi stilist mi?
Could he believe a minute ago? Can you believe 1 minute ago?
Bir dakika öncesine inanılabilir mi?
Is his half-brother a notary? Is his half-brother a notary?
Üvey kardeşi noter mi?
Won't you marry? Wrong will not marry.
Yanlış evlenmeyecek.
You can be the weekly philosopher. You can be the weekly philosopher.
Haftalık filozof olabilirsin.
You did not act as a watchman 1 day ago. You did not act as a watchman 1 day ago.
Bir gün önce bekçilik yapmadınız.
Your son is the art director. Your son is art property.
Oğlunuz sanat mülkü.
Can it continue into the sunset? Can it continue into the sunset?
Gün batımında devam edebilir mi?
Your grandfather was a landscape architect. Your grandfather was a landscape architect.
Senin büyük baban peyzaj mimarıydı.
Do you have to answer at 5 p.m.? Do you have to answer after finding 5?
5 bulduktan sonra cevap vermek zorunda mısın?
She wasn't usually a policewoman. She wasn't usually a policewoman.
O genellikle kadın polis değildi.
Was your daughter a publisher? Is your daughter a publisher?
Kızınız yayıncı mı?
Was his wife a fashion designer? Will his wife help the fashion keeper?
Eşi moda koruyucusu yardımcı olur mu?
Should I complain? Complain?
Şikayet etmek mi?
Shouldn't he be a carpenter right away? Shouldn't he be a carpenter right away?
Hemen marangozluk yapması gerekmiyor mu?
Will it continue? Will there be a sequel?
Devamı mı olacak?
His uncle is a urologist. His uncle is a urologist.
Amcası ürolog.
Was his stepson the postman? Carrie stepson postman?
Üvey oğlu postacı taşımak.
Rarely chosen? Did you choose between?
Aralarımı seçtin.
Do I remove it? Do I lift?
Kaldırıyor muyum?
Are we ecologist a century from now? Are we ecologist a century from now?
Bir asır sonra ekolojist miyiz?
Can't he complete? Can't he complete?
Tamamlayamaz mı?
Was our grandson a lifeguard? Has our grandson set out as a lifeguard?
Torunumuz can kurtaran olarak yola çıktı mı?
You should get well soon. You need to rescue urgently.
Acil kurtarmalısın.
Can you base at night? Can you sleep at night?
Geceleri uslayabilir misiniz?
She will be an esthetician every year. She will be an esthetician every year.
Her yıl estetisyenlik yapacak.
Will I be the postman every week? Will I be the postman every week?
Her hafta postacı olacak mıyım?
Were their grandchildren bus drivers? Were their grandchildren bus drivers?
Torunları otobüs şoförü müydü?
Did he make a machinist at night? Did he make a machinist at night?
Gece vakti makinist mi yaptı?
He won't be doing his internship right away. He won't be doing his internship right away.
Hemen staj yapmayacak.
Shouldn't we be gardening in a second? Shouldn't we be gardening in a second?
Bir saniye sonra bahçıvanlık yapmamız gerekmez mi?
He won't find out after 5 days. He won't find out after 5 days.
5 gün sonra öğrenemeyecek.
I may be missing. I may be missing.
Eksikim olabilir.
We weren't suddenly economists before. We weren't suddenly economists before.
Daha önce bir anda ekonomist değildik.
Your wife was the owner. Your wife was the owner.
Karınız ev sahibiydi.
Can't evaluate it every week? Can't evaluate it every week?
Her hafta değerlendiremez mi?
We didn't do alchemy every day. We couldn't simulate every day.
Her gün simülasyon yapamadık.
He was just a drummer. He was just a drummer.
Hemen davulcuydu.
Is her grandmother a contractor? Is her grandmother a contractor?
Büyükannesi müteahhit mi?
Could they be headhunters? Could they be headhunters?
Kafa avcısı olabilirler mi?
Have we tested? Have we tested?
Test ettik mi?
Should not be undertaken every month. Should not be undertaken every month.
Her ay üstlenmemelidir.
Can they lock weekly? Can they lock weekly?
Haftalık kilitleyebilirler mi?
His grandmother was a urologist. His grandmother was a urologist.
Büyükannesi ürologdu.
Aren't we a courier next year? Aren't we a courier next year?
Seneye kurye değil miyiz?
2 days ago I had a hard time. 2 days ago I had a hard time.
2 gün önce zorlandım mı?
Aren't we hurt? Did we hurt our eyesight?
Görme zarardık mı?
Will they write yearly? Will they write yearly?
Yıllık mı yazacaklar?
Will he be a beekeeper in 3 seconds? Will he be a beekeeper in 3 seconds?
3 saniye sonra arıcı olacak mı?
Will you vote? Will you vote?
Oy verecek misin?
Can I talk about nighttime? Can I talk about nighttime?
Gece vakti bahsedebilir miyim?
After 2 weekends we can engineer. 2 weeks of engineering wait.
2 hafta sonu mühendislik ağırlığı.
Can't he tempt? Can't he tempt?
Cezbedemez mi?
Is my stepsister a pianist? Is my stepsister a pianist?
Üvey kız kardeşim piyanist mi?
Does he walk? Does he walk?
O yürür mü?
Can't you go at dawn? Can't stay at dawn?
Şafakta kalamıyor musunuz?
Weren't they binding last year? Weren't they binding last year?
Geçen yıl bağlayıcı değiller mi?
His mother is a trainee. His mother is a trainee.
Annesi stajyer.
That soldier 3 weeks ago. That soldier 3 weeks ago.
O asker 3 hafta sonu önce.
Your cousin's postman. Your cousin's postman.
Kuzenlerin postacı.
Shouldn't I conclude at dawn? Shouldn't I conclude at dawn?
Şafakta sonuçlanmamalı mıyım?
They will collect donations every day. They will collect donations every day.
Her gün bağış toplayacaklar.
We will run away. We will run away.
Kaçacağız.
Doesn't he explain at noon? Doesn't he explain at noon?
Öğlen açıklamıyor mu?
We'll analyze after a week. We'll analyze after a week.
Bir hafta sonra analiz yapacak.